He's saying, you know, Earth Spirit, OP freaking hero. He's got 80-some-odd% win rate.
You don't want to hear it. You.
I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. The hair is balanced. He's fine. Don't touch him, Ice Frog.
I understand that I am a biased Ebola spirit kind of a person here, but I do want to just say that maybe there is a chance that some of these other teams just haven't quite figured out how to go against it. A lot of teams are learning how to use it. Great weapon here. Now everyone's learning how to put this weapon to use, but where's everyone's shield? How do we go and deflect that weapon? Can't help but feel like certain small support heroes, looks like your Abaddons, your Disruptors, and even a casual Silencer could be very good to take it back to Earth Spirit. And I was saying in the past, is he worth the counter being like a 4-position support? Maybe he is. I don't know. With those kind of win rates, those kind of numbers, who knows?
He's a hero that, has been just owning in a lot of the games he's been played. We've seen we do it from the mid lane. We've seen players do it from the 4-position role. And interesting for EHOME, like the 2 heroes they banned in game 1 go through. It was Batrider and Earth Spirit, but I think for them the second ban onto the Void was because they realized, like, okay, if we ban out, like, they wanted to get this trade where they get the Bat or the Earth Spirit depending on which one EG took. So they guarantee themselves one of the 2 heroes, and the priority for EHOME's always been getting, for the most part, Alt 11's hero in the first stage. Last game it's the Void, this game it's going to be the Batrider. They want to make sure he's on one of those scary strong initiators every single game.
Now I would love to see PPD pull out his good old crafty Shadow Demon, which is very good against the Batrider. Other than that, you know, maybe could dabble with an Oracle, another great, you know, serious counter to Batrider. I don't know how PPD has been faring. I know he's been grinding the hero a bit, but how he's been faring in competitive play. But in the meantime, they pick up the Night Stalker here. So is this going to be is it right now an offlane Night Stalker? You can't really run Earth Spirit and Night Stalker as a support duo. So this is straight for Earth Spirit here.
It's almost probably got to be an offlane Night Stalker unless they try and do something funky like the mid Night Stalker. We saw Alliance do that with S4 played in the final Star Ladder game. So it's a tiny bit flexible, but most likely it's they're picking this for the offlane, and they want to have that vision against Batrider. It's a really nice. I think it's, you could probably call it a counter to Batrider. Just you always see him coming when it's nighttime because you've got that vision advantage. With the Ag Scepter, and also good for the Witch Doctor. He's trying to hide in trees, throws Death Ward out. You can always see him get a Void off to cancel it, get a Crippling Fear. So it's a very good hero to have against both these 2 EHOME picks.
Is it too early to say that maybe EHOME can use this bit of intel to their advantage now that they know that this is going to be what looks like a offlane Night Stalker, and most likely a solo offlane Night Stalker? You can't really dual lane with this guy, but you know, Earth Spirit wants to kind of roam around a bit, add pressure to the mid lane, and look for opportunities at the start of the game. Can EHOME use that to their advantage, whether they go extra aggressive onto the Night Stalker or even try to make the Batrider have a one-on-one with the Night Stalker, let's say?
I mean, they can, to some it's useful information to have as they plan the rest of their draft, but I think you could say the same thing the other way too. Like, EG can use the fact they likely know it's going to be a Batrider offlane, you know, just a Witch Doctor support, I guess. The Witch Doctor he's not going to any other lane other than like the support lane, like the safe lane, I guess, or wherever their trial lane's going. So it kind of goes both ways, I guess.
So still fearing the potential counter to the Batrider, EHOME will ban out the Oracle, which, you know, hey, still leave Shadow Demon.
Yep.
I miss that hero a lot.
I miss that guy too. I don't know if he dishes out enough damage. Like, you look at Earth Spirit Night Stalker, like, there's pretty good damage. Like, that's the insane thing about Oracle, is just how much single target burst he has because of Purifying Flames. And then you combine that with having the false promise to get rid of Lasso, you have got a Purge as well. Like, the hero does everything. It's actually crazy. He's not first pick material, but like the games he's good, he is just insanely good. He may become first pick material. You never know. He just makes thing is, if you see your opponent's first pick the hero, you're just not going to pick those heroes that get countered by him. Like, you're not going to pick a Darkseer, you're not going to pick a Batrider. So the Oracle isn't like
we
that.
do see teams like, I know Digital Chaos will frequently first pick it.
Okay.
It, you know, kind of puts that message out there a bit, and especially on Western teams, I don't see a whole lot of like going right for the AA, so they don't seem to have to worry about that, whereas Eastern teams will gladly pick up an AA.
Yeah, you're playing against EHOME. Like, if you want to pick Oracle, you probably want to ban AA in the process.
Okay, well, I feel like, you know, it might end up being, if not some sort of direct counter for the Batrider, that could just get the reliable and trusty Dazzle, let's say, here, to just go more on the defensive end. And Invoker seems to also still be out there as a plausible option, maybe still for like Sumail, let's say.
For both teams.
For both teams, yeah. And
both
OD,
play.
oh no, OD was banned.
Yeah.
Okay, so Invoker probably being the highest, most valuable mid laner still in the pool.
I was thinking there was a good chance EHOME go for the Visage. They like to run that as a support against like these melee heroes, and it just pairs pretty nicely with Witch Doctor. And EG don't ban it, but I feel like the Lycan's a ban, which like Lycan with Visage is very strong because of the Howl. Just synergizing with the push, the familiars, getting the bonus damage. So it somewhat protects yourselves from like a Visage pick because Visage plus Lycan is super scary together.
May see the LAN Pugna come out too.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
pulled
that's
out a
always
couple
fun.
of times, and I know he pulled out in a game against an Earth Spirit, and I believe they won that game. The ward can be a problem for Earth Spirit. You're just out there free casting spells, and you don't want to have to deal with the ward while you're kind of getting your groove on. So fills
It's a
with the
bit
push a
squishy
bit.
against Night Stalker, I think, is the main scary thing about that.
Hey, just decrep, get away from me.
And he can always find your Nether Ward once he has Ag Scepter, so
That's true.
not I think they'd rather something like kind of tankier, and they're gonna go Viper once more. So there's tanky from the mid lane.
Passing over the Invoker and just getting the Viper, knowing that they feel pretty good, especially after the last game. I mean, given they had a tremendously, very happy start. The Viper held up well against the Invoker, but look at this. We were talking about in the last draft what kind of Western teams have been picking up the Morphling recently. Well, Evil Genius are going to be picking up here. And
The
then a
thing-
quick Chen response.
The thing with EHOME's Viper pick is it sends the message that they don't care what EG are gonna play because they have no idea what EG's running mid. They just like Viper isn't necessarily going to be like a great way of. It's not like it's kind of good against Earth Spirit just because you're tanky, but it just says like we're going to pick this regardless of who you're going to be picking up from mid. Whatever you're going to do, we want to just play our drafts, and we know that our like right now you guys don't have an answer for what we're doing. As is evident by game 1. So EHOME get Viper, they pick up Chen. It's looking to be a pretty strong mid game push draft coming from EHOME.
Lena now going to be picked up here. It seems to be the Sumail hero
Yep,
to
Sumail
match
from
up
mid.
against the Viper. Hefty burst. Typically, let's say like a Yule's candidate could help a bit against something like a Bat Rider.
Gives them some much needed D push as well. Like they have no wave clear at this point.
Yeah.
Earth Spirit has the Boulder Smash, which does pretty
Oh,
low
he's
damage.
not good at being able to wave clear. I
I
mean,
mean,
kick one creep away, and
Yep.
that's
It
all
doesn't
he
really
got.
do much damage to the push that's coming or the Chen. I mean, it slows it down with the stun, but waveform's not great because you have to commit your body into the push, and then you're in a terrible position. So Lena gives you some good long range.
It's a shame that we're not seeing like EG kind of dig deeper into their classic NA Dota roots and pulling out something like the offlane Enchantress. I don't feel like we get to see that as enough. It's really good at being
Yeah.
able to go against the Chen, taking the creeps a bit, hefty and hard-hitting damage, and
It's that thing just fills the NA pub games right now. It is miserable to go up against. I think it's very much is one of those kind of pub flavors where it's like ridiculously good on the pub scene, but like you put it in competitive play, it doesn't quite have the same results. But
yeah.
I think some teams, like I remember talking to Swindle at Starlight, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Enchantress is going to be a thing. Maybe not right now in the new patch, but
Yeah.
it doesn't even require buffs or new patch changes. It's just going to require like a shift in like drafting philosophy and give it like 2, 3, 4 months towards the end of the patch. He really thinks it's going to become like a relevant hero.
We'll have to see, but for the meantime, EG favoring that kind of map control with the early grab on the Night Stalker here. And look at these last couple of bans coming out. EHOME rid of the Bounty Hunter, typically a great grab to kind of mess with the Chen, obviously. And I assume only directly that, which, if they did commit for a Bounty Hunter, that would leave their lanes pretty lackluster. No one there to support this Morphling at all, but I guess they really just want to make sure Chen has, all he could want in the jungle, and then EG ridding of the Juggernaut grab.
So CTY pick coming up last for EHOME. Juggle would have been good. More push, more heal with the healing ward. Can scale pretty nicely.
Maybe like a
Did he-
Slark would be pretty good here. It's good
Yeah.
at being able to shrug off the Magnetize a bit.
I even wonder if they just say, screw it, let's go anti-mates. Like, yes, you've got a mid-game push draft,
Really?
but there's no reason you can't still pick an... It's just, like, you look at the overall EHOME strategy last game. Okay, they're going to go all in the
Oh
push.
goodness, this
Drow
this
Viper, but... They could have taken the other approach and gone for the anti-mage, because, like, last game, it's the same thing as last game, where they pushing us and fighting as 4, while CTY has this carry who can be independent. He can't be ganked, the Morphling, the AM, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And then he guarantees your late game, but... This is much more kind of all-in for the early to mid-game.
And look how much this little lady here is just going to add to this lineup right now. Look at all of the range they're working with. They're going to be hitting like trucks in the laning phase. This is going to be a hard time for Lena in the mid lane, and even for Night Stalker. He's going to get zoned back hard from these supports, and EG go back And we'll be picking up a classic here, the PPD Crystal Maiden.
I was wondering if they're going to pick it because they needed
a
support and something. Venge was still in the pool, and Venge last game it was like kind of lackluster because as a 5-position support it just didn't have enough laning presence. And even though the swap is a great way of dealing with the Batrider lasso, I feel like they needed something stronger in the laning stage and good against the Chen, like you mentioned. Venge is not that hero, so I like the CM pick for EG, but I still lean towards EHOME's draft as being really
provides
strong.
great mana, of course, with the aura, and you have heroes like Earth Spirit who can be pretty mana intensive until he's able to kind of put together those arcane boots.
All 4 of these heroes, maybe the least is the Night Stalker. Love that CM aura.
Yeah.
Sumail can just use it to kind of power farm through the jungle, use his nukes to push out waves. Same for Artesian more.
I'm very curious about the EG laning phase though, and how PPD is going to be playing this Crystal Maiden. I don't really know Crystal Maiden to be great as a zoner, more like I'll be there present to assist, and then I'm going to go take this fat creep over here in this camp and just quickly get to level 2. So I don't know.
If Bat ever like finds you, gets a couple napalms, like
she's slow. She's going to get burned. She's going to get melted.
You're not a happy CM. At that point, EG kind of need to commit fear more to the safe lane.
Observer trying to look up her dress. Come on.
Whew, come on. Yeah, please, Rob.
This is going to be an exciting one. Here we go, folks. It's game number 2. Now, this is the playoffs, so it's a best of 3, no more 2-game series. We're going to the long haul now, and this is where many feel these two teams really are successful in. You know, EHOME and EG both very good at adapting on the fly, and we'll have to see if EG are able to kind of bounce back after what was a very, very difficult game number 1. And whoever is going to be coming up short in this series is going to be down, but not out. There is a lower bracket, of course, and
drop down to verse
I believe
it's either Complexity.
No, Magneski are out, so it's either Complexity,
or
Newbie.
Yeah.
I believe it's going to be Complexity. And then the winner moves on to face Vici Gaming, of course. So a rematch for really either team, especially for EHOME, who just got done going against them. And well, we'll have to see what's going to be working out to their favor here already.
It's EHOME who played LGD, not
Oh, you're right.
Vici, Vici was in the group with EG,
Hey, still rematch. EG have played Vici, but Summit plenty of times.
Yes.
Long
EHOME and
history.
Vici have been like fighting for that top spot in China for a long time now.
Uh-oh, here comes Fear. This time he's going to be going in first with the Earth Spirit here, but it's split all over the place, and PPD very low is going to be able to get away from trouble, but look at this. First Blood's actually going to go to Old Chicken. He's almost going to be going down. They void him up. They're looking to grab him down. They are going to be able to get him. It's a 2-for-2 trade. An absolute bloodbath at the start of this one. We're not even 20 seconds in, and we could be seeing 5 kills already as Fear commits on him, wants to get a hold of Lanham. Lanham barely helped, kept alive with the assistance of that Witch Doctor, but finally they're going to be able to bring him down. Old Chicken returns and not going to be able to get a retort. 3-2. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to game number 2.
Double bounty rune for EHOME, though. I'm still like, I think that matters more. They got double bounty rune and First Blood. That's
it's a game winner if it's like last game, but
yep. The gold change heavily favoring EG. Whoa. That Night Stalker got a lot out of that one, though. So maybe it was actually all right for EG looking at that gold change there.
Oh, Cock got a bit of trouble. Nice little split.
No mana left.
But yeah.
Universe did all of that with Iron Talon first item. He's like, I'm going jungle. I want to be able to farm. And suddenly he finds himself getting like multiple kills and doing huge damage.
So look at the interesting lane setup that EG have put together here. PPD joining Universe at the top, which might be for the better because Universe on his own, it would have been pretty damn difficult with the benefit of that Drow Aura and a Witch Doctor poking at you. It would have been a nuisance. So I wonder if PPD is just here to kind of guide him a bit, get him started, and then roam elsewhere. For now, heading already towards, might be too early for a 2-minute rune, but
well, and he's got level 2 already on CM, which is really valuable for the team. Something that all those kills early on did help him get in. One of the nice things about being up there in that top lane is he's right by that big camp at the secret shop, so he can quickly rotate there.
He's doing that now. It looks like he'll be able to get that neutral camp in.
Get some quick, easy levels off of this.
And a stack, too.
No, this is a nice place for CM to be in.
But what about bottom lane? Because he's not there, Old 11 on this Batrider, he's going to be taking advantage of it. We saw him in the last game, and that Faceless Void had top 2 CS. And look at this now. Fear sets up the Rolling Boulder. We'll right-click him down a bit. He has an Orb of Venom, right? Yeah, the Orb of Venom slows him down. And 11 is out of Fireflight here. Another Rolling Boulder is going to be up in just about 3 seconds' time. If he lands this one, it is definitely kill. Oh, the waveform he connects, and it's not even necessary. Arteezy's going to be able to creep back in and runs one back onto EHOME here.
Yep.
hasted LAN, and we saw the deja vu from game number 1.
He's no Earthshaker this time.
He's on the move, and hey, what are you doing over here? Can I take that creep? Boop, thank you. And now I'm going to use it against you. PPD, who does not have the freeze, does have it now. He's going to use it on the creep. Oh, he's going to get slowed down here.
He missed the Ursa Club.
Fear shows up. Oh, he's going to end up using it on the Lanham, and Lanham's going to be in trouble now. This is certainly not going the way that it did in game number 1. EG, this time, they have an answer.
And they get the Hellbear kill. Still, CS is very EHOME favored, but this is much better start for EG regardless of that fact. Like, you've got much better control over the lanes now. The Night Stalker can always get some decent farm this game when he's going for that Iron Talon build. Your safe lane Morphling's gotten a kill on the Batrider, who had been a bit of a bully up until that point.
Fear has been involved in like every kill too.
He's just he's everywhere on the map. Like
It's just what Earth Spirit does, man.
There's danger or a problem somewhere, and okay, Fear's there. Don't worry.
Yeah, just the way this hero can just close the gap is really ridiculous. I mean, that's one of the things that, you know, if he does get a nerf, like maybe just reduce the range and stuff like that a bit, but it's crazy how fast you think he's just on the other side of the map and then suddenly shows up. And they might need him here and now. He's on the way, but it might be too late. Yeah, there's, my goodness. Yeah, that is now a Morphling who quickly turns into an evaporated group of steam. And, well, here comes Fear now. Shows up. He's looking to get a hold of Lanham here. Gets the kickoff. Does get the stun. One more right click should do it, and he gets it. Fear again participating, but he's going to get 2 stacks. I don't know if they're going to pursue for that one or
Fear
not.
at bottom?
Bottom lane, but no, at that time playing, they're also actually going to be committed. No commitment on for Fear as he has 4 stacks. Back at top lane, they also are going to be forced to pull off. Ooh, this one is a feisty one, GoDz. Game number 2. Oh, spicy.
It's one of those things where you see lots of action, you see kills being traded, and your mind will just instantly go to the team that's like getting the better of the kill trades. Like you're thinking, oh, EG's had 6 kills to 3, it's going well, but then you look over at the CS and you're like, oh, wait a second. They're actually kind of getting wrecked in the lanes right now. Like, Morphling is a hero who's very farm dependent, needs to be CSing while he's not getting it.
Boulder smash, rolling boulder, and the kill.
I mean, at some point the kills do add up and negate that CS advantage, but just getting kills onto the offlaner while the Viper does fine mid and the Drow does fine at top isn't going to cut it for EG. They need to make sure they secure farm on Lina as well as Morphling.
I mean, even with how it feels like EG have been able to kind of hold off EHOME this time, I mean, you're looking, at the CS, and up until this moment, you know, the top 3 was all going the way of EHOME.
Yep. I think it's a lot of the kills going EG's way has just come from slight over-aggression coming out from Lamb's Chen. He's been just really trying to push it and get like early kills, knowing that if EG lose the early game, they're in a lot of trouble. You've got a Drow Viper lineup, you just snowball out of control. So he's trying to just really get that big early game lead, but ultimately it's given EG a few too many kills here or there, but it's still a position that EHOME are going to be pretty happy with. I mean, maybe they don't quite know the CS advantage they have, but all in all, big picture-wise, like they've already got almost level 6 on Batrider.
I know, like even though he's been now 0 and 2, he is about to be 6 at a 6-minute time, which is a wonderful quota for an offlaner to begin with.
He's got more CS than the Morphling. Like that in itself is like an offlaner's dream. So
11, man. He's stepped off of the Tusk era, where we saw back from like what Nanyang even, and he has definitely found a new home here with this Batrider.
Yeah, he's been like one of the premier offlaners. It's been like as far as playing that initiator type role from the offlane, he's just almost unparalleled. Reminds me a lot of like what Moomiander did for OG.
Oh yeah. Oh, look at this though. Surprise attack coming up from Universe with the assistance of Fear, and the Bash Brothers roll through. Even Arteezy getting his hands dirty in this one. And they're going to get the kill. KotLGuy comes in. He really wants some return blood here, but he's not going to get it. Coming up just a bit short. Oh! He gets the right click off as Universe turns back. He was like, I want to see this guy go down, but unfortunately comes into the danger zone, and KotLGuy is going to be like, worth it. Oh, man. Still, though, great for EG. It's a 2-for-1. This comes after taking down the Batrider, but still, it could have been a clean getaway.
Yeah. Well, for EG, this bottom lane, they just keep finding these kills, but
move straight to mech for the Viper here. So this is not going to be a mech Chen. This is, well, I mean, he's felt like a pretty damn proactive Chen. And it feels like it's one or the other typically. I'm not a huge Chen player, but it's either getting more proactive across the lanes or being a bit more greedy in the jungle and farming up a mech and then using that to push. Oh, man, it's Nightfall here, so Universe has got the speed. He's hustling in. Man, that Void packs a serious punch already. PPD is going to be able to intercept with the help of the freeze, and the 2 of them are going to get the kill. That was beautifully done from EG.
No one showing any signs to TP up there. I guess Witch Doctor probably already committed his mid, and That's the one thing when you go for the Drow strats in general, you have really bad like kind of counter initiation play. It's really hard to like protect your cores. Like when your Viper or your Drow gets dived here, they're just straight up dead. You can't TP someone in to save them, and that's something EHOME's draft is just going to lack this game. So they need to kind of get through the early game and get to that stage of the game where they're 5-manning, taking down towers, taking down Rosh, and taking control from there.
Cute little deny there from Fear taking that ward away, but EHOME really pressuring out this mid lane right now. Lanham, who continues to be involved in the laning stage quite a bit, then putting himself in the jungles, being very assertive that they want to get an objective before they get back. This would push Viper into his mech, and do you think it's... when is the point when they need to come together and make this happen? We typically know, or the stigma against a Drow lineup is, get it done before 35.
Yep.
Otherwise, you're going to be in a world of hurt, potentially.
I think it's they really need to group up next nighttime, because that's when EG will get a ton of kills. If EHOME keep trying to farm, split across lanes.
Oh, good little kick. Reset as Fear gets away from trouble.
Yeah. And the way EHOME loses is that EG get a ton of kills because you're constantly split up, and EG's lineup is great for finding pickups with Night Stalker and Earth Spirit, and EHOME's lineup is terrible at avoiding getting killed. Their heroes don't, unlike last game, they've got no escape spells. Last game it was all these tanky, hard to kill heroes. You've got Void in the offlane with Time Walk. You had the safe lane Morphling. You had a mid Viper. This game, the only hero that's like kind of hard to kill is that Viper. So EG great at ganking, EHOME terrible at avoiding going down, which means EHOME, once it hits nighttime again, I think they will be spending most of the next nighttime grouped up as 4 or 5. Any hero farming by themselves is likely to become prey. The ideal scenario for EHOME is that they have the Blink Dagger up on Batrider for that next nighttime. And, well, here's money to help go towards the Blink Dagger. They can actually secure Roshan 9 minutes in, and that's something EG may not be ready to contest.
What do you think about the Drow's skill build-up right now? He's putting more into Ice Arrows. I've seen Drows do anything and everything, from your Illidan's, from your Cloud9 Drows from back in the day. A lot of people felt if this is going to be very objective-heavy Drow, you might not even... I've even seen Drows not even do any into Ice Arrow just because they know they're going to be more involved in hitting towers than hitting heroes. Here we see CTY doing 2 points, none into Silence yet. Okay, he does get the point, because I got to say, against this lineup, especially someone like an Earth Spirit, let's say, or a Morph who's trying to make it out, I think Silence could be pretty damn valuable, but it looks like he'll at least get the 1 point for now.
I think it was done largely for the laning stage, where he wanted at level 3 to have 2 points in Frost Arrows. I didn't actually see if he had 2 in Frost Arrows at level 3 or 4, but for the laning stage it's great because you harass and you can actually kind of try and bully the Night Stalker and the CM a bit out of lane. I wouldn't be surprised to see him just stop leveling it from here on out for a bit, at least until much later on, because I think the value you get out of Frost Arrows kind of falls off now. It's something which you get value out of the laning stage, but when you're 5-manning, you've got the Viper with plenty of slows. Your Drow is just meant to be that kind of building right clicker.
On the move.
They're 5-manning when they don't even have level 6 on Chen or Witch Doctor. That's the crazy thing about this draft.
You can just feel it like with Lanham in his presence. He's like, guys, let's go. We got to get this done. That was just the start, but the dominoes must continue to fall here. And they went from just getting the first tier 1 in the mid lane to the bottom and now to the top here. They're looking to restrict EG back. They know they got the late game potential with the Morphling here, and they want to make sure he doesn't have the farm potential. They're going to be able to scout out Sumail. They jump it. They're going to get a good lasso. They're going to be taking him back right into KotLGuy stun here, and well, CTY just comes in and hits like a truck, and Sumail is certainly going to be going down. For the rest of EHOME, they're going to be pushing out the top tier 2 now.
Great execution and a very needed pickoff for the supports more than anything, because that got them level 6 on Witch Doctor and just kind of built them towards this point where they're going to be scary with the 5-man. Like, you already had a level 9 bat with Blink at very early stages. The next big step for them was getting some of these key levels on their supports, and this is very much a pocket strat from EHOME. They're rushing the Ags on the Chen, but they're not even waiting for some of these items to come online. They recognize how weak EG are.
Is the death ball back? Look at this. They're 11, not even 12 minutes into the game, and they are in the doorstep right now of EG's base.
You thought newbie at TI4 was bad. Look what we can do, guys.
I mean,
we'll take it to the next
EHOME
level.
Just kind of like, we're going to do something very aggressive at this point, and it's working out well. But, okay, Fear's got his first magnetized setup right now. It's bounced between 2. He gets the first stone out, and he's got the space to continue to just cut. Oh, my goodness, man. He just gets melted. KotLGuy dropping a huge death ward just takes him out of the picture. That means this magnetized is not going to be able to live up to all the amount of damage it could have potentially put out. And now suddenly a tier 3 is down, a Rax is down to half-life, and it is high alert right now for EG.
Yep. This is how you play against Morphling. You take the fight to him 12 minutes into the high ground. Problem is, They're kind of running out of steam now, and nighttime has returned. With it being nighttime, it gets a lot more difficult for EHOME to stay around and keep fighting.
Second life of Old Chicken, and he's
down
looking to come in a swinging.
buyback.
They already got Sumel out. It looks like they're going to be able to take down PP next. One by one, they're going to get dropped in. Yeah, Arteezy feels confident enough to commit on in, try to get a hold of Kaka, but the Restoration keeping him back and alive here. Fear without the Magnetize has got to do it with just what he's got. Rolls on forward. Arteezy, man, running from the Viper, running from the Golems. Has to use the waveform to make it back and away. It looks like on the other side, Universe is able to claim a double kill, potentially a triple.
Is he coming for the Rex? Well, back in the base. Can we check out the melee Rex? Oh, we got the melee Rex. He stayed around.
The Golems
all
too,
in.
man.
He's got another mech back up.
Old Chicken looking to make it back. There's the life, but they will be able to silence him out. Old 11 comes in. He's looking to help out. They might be able to get Old Chicken out, but he is going to torch the rest of them here. Double kill for 11. Okay, Sumel back now for round number 3, it feels like. They will be able to get the pesky Viper down, and oh man.
Easy. Mud Golems. Okay.
What?
Survives the mud Golem. There was like 2 or 3 big Mud Golems. They die in the push, and then you get all the little mini Mud Golems, and more than the stun, those things do a lot of damage. I think it's like 100, either 100 or 125 damage per like Mud Golem toss. So like they actually had huge burst damage coming out from all the Chen creeps.
That was a war. That was crazy. An all-out siege coming out from EHOME, and I gotta tell you, they walk away, the rubble hits the ground, and when the dust settles, they gotta feel pretty damn good. Iraq's down already, or even the 15-minute mark.
They may have to slow down a little bit now. Like, you just gave EG quite a lot of levels more than anything, which is going to help them a lot for the next fight, and your Aegis just expired. But for EHOME, taking a like Raxes give you a huge boost in your gold this early on. They're going to have Chen's Ag Scepter soon. They're going to have a lot of big items coming their way. The Bat Rider's picked up a 4-staff despite dying twice in that one battle. Like, that's how long it lasted. Like, Bat died, he respawned, he TP'd to the top tier 1, then he got back for that last second death.
Oh, man, Lanham. Very squishy. They're going to be going down. Combo comes out here for Fear, and it's going to secure the kill on the Kaka here. They got the Magnetize here, but that is just adding so much, well, poison damage happening there onto Fear. He'll eventually go down. 11 committing on in. Going to get silenced up. Forced to step back. Arteezy tries to get him hold the waveform. They are going to bring down Universe here. PPD committing the freezing field here. Zoning back, taking all the creeps down. It ends up being a 3-for-2 trade. One that does favor Evil Geniuses.
Not bad. And EG need to keep finding kills and fighting now while it's still nighttime.
And they are go, go, go. Lineup returns, and he's like back to the mid lane. Go!
The onslaught, just relentless. This is something totally new I have not seen yet during MDL or on this new patch really at all. This is just like a completely new variant of push. It reminds me a lot of what like a team like TNC were doing. Like if you look at some of like the SCA regions where they had this Viper Dro strat, and it was very much like a cheese/pocket strat, but seeing it done by EHOME here, they've kind of like maybe refined it a bit, and they pushed high ground that much sooner. 12 minutes in, your high ground being pushed, that is just insane.
Mind you, see, it reminds me of like Team Fortress 2 deathmatch. Just die and get back in the action. Die, get back in the action. It's like we're slowly crumbling them down. The towers are beginning to just wilt away. And they ended up also taking down what looks like that mid-tier 2. So bottom, the last outer tower. The money just continues to come in for EHOME, and their inventories are starting to show it. I mean, imagine once this Agnums comes together for Lanham. It feels like he's been the biggest punching bag for EG, but okay, moving forward. They get the 2-man stun. Magnetize going to be going out, quickly going to be deleting out the Drow Ranger. Here comes Old Chicken. He puts his crosshairs onto Fear, looks to right-click him apart, while 11 gets the grab onto Universe. So a bit of split targets here for EHOME. Can they find the right one, though? Meanwhile, PPD from the sidelines here. Arteezy trying to drag him towards the freezing field. He tries to keep the space with the help of the Adaptive Strike. Fear, nice setup with the Boulder Smash. He gets a 2-man stun, but eventually it just catches up with him. They are going to be able to bring down PPD as Arteezy waveforms away from trouble. The Flame Break is going to be able to bounce him back, and not even Adaptive Strike is going to be enough to save him. Fear, rolling Boulder, trying to make it out to safety here, but they got the urn. They got 3 stacks now, and it looks like the Rockman will be put down and into the earth once more. Sumil makes it away with no mana to show for it. Triple kill for Old 11 and EHOME. Looking damn good to potentially close out this series 2-0 if this does keep up.
I think this is what makes EHOME and like Lanham such a scary captain, is that he just puts together these very unique and innovative drafts and strategies. He's so good at adapting. Kind of talked about how these two teams both are great in these best of threes. They're both great at adapting, and right now we're seeing that from EHOME. For EG, they've just been completely caught by surprise. They've actually tried to adapt. It was the first time we see him play Terrorblade, then the first time we see him play Morphling, but EHOME were ready for both these two picks, it felt like. They had an answer in both games. Like, as soon as the Terrorblade was picked up, they snap picked the Earthshaker. They didn't even think about it. They knew it. They had a plan for themselves, and it just felt like they had such a draft prepared that they didn't even care what EG were playing because they knew their drafts would just win them games.
PPD gets pulled back here. Sumail tries to help with the Yules, and Fear helps with the Boulder Smash, and it does save his life, but he's just trying to find a corner. Nope, Flame Break going to catch him. 11 just not looking to give up on the little girl. Finally will be able to get her down, man, this guy.
Oh, and Roche is respawning too, so EHOME can kind of look to fall back, grab that Aghanim Scepter for Chen to start picking up Ancient Creeps. Once they get this T2 tower, probably, they'll likely fall back, I want to say, but who knows? This EHOME team is just insane. They could just go straight for the high ground for all we know.
Yeah, Roche is up, so I think they should get the Aegis, and that will be the ticket for them to go into high ground once
whether
more.
or not they know
with the Agnums, it's more than enough. I would assume.
First Roche was at 9 minutes, so this is actually like the earliest possible, almost close to the earliest possible respawn, and yeah, they'll scatter that right away. So
Veil committed here for Fear.
I mean, they need anything to boost up their damage output.
But now you have a mech and the Hand of God. I just can't let that shrug all that Magnetize off. And I don't even think he's going to have level 2 Magnetize.
The good
for
news
any of these
is
fights,
the Hand of God has the long cooldown now with Acceptor, so
yeah,
that's some relief.
Chen went from God tier to back to some sort of subhuman, but
and it's really nice. Good. It's it's not nice for the Chen, but for EG it's great because Chen is still level 8. So you're looking at level 1 Aghanim Scepter on Chen, which means a huge cooldown on the Hand of God, only 1 Ancient Creep, so it's still manageable. If this was like a level 11 Chen with 2 Ancient Creeps and that slightly shorter cooldown on Hand of God, you're like, this is a problem.
They may be just hoping that that one heal is all they'll need. Hopefully this one fight with that one heal is all it will take, and they won't have to worry about how long is the cooldown. It's like they're looking on going in and not walking back out unless they get another Rax.
And the other really interesting thing EHOME did this game, the Witch Doctor, despite having the push strat, went for a lot of points in Maledict early on, and that's actually a really good way of dealing with Morphling because he takes a ton of damage, but he morphs his strength to keep himself alive, but Maledict can really punish that. So just something you wouldn't expect normally. Like you see this draft, you're thinking all in push, you're expecting Witch Doctor to max cast, Voodoo, and get 0 points in Maledict, but he did like the exact opposite and got 2 or 3 points in Maledict early on.
Here comes trouble. Old Chicken now with that BKB and Aegis. He's happily able to just siege from the low ground in this pesky dragon with the fireball. And there's 11. He grabs Sumail and he pulls him out. Now it's going to be a self-heals to try to save him. The Witch Doctor goes down early and they get the quick delete onto 11. This could be a stronghold for EG because Sumail buys back and they know that they could take this fight. Rolling on 4, they're going to get off a huge Magnetize onto 3. RTZ looking to clear out the backliners here. Is going to be able to do so. They quickly wipe the floor with the 2 and they take down all 5 here potentially from EHOME. Second life of Old Chicken, but it's not looking good at all. Look at that though. Lanham going to be able to get the kill with the help of the Dragon here on PPD. And as Old Chicken does come back, he's looking to go down, well, without a fight. He's going to be able to bully back Sumail, and I guess this Viper is tough as nails right now.
Can he and the Chen Creeps take on the world?
It's looking like it here, but eventually RTZ will step back that way and will get the kill. All 5 do go down from EHOME. I guess you can count it as 6 with the life of the Aegis here, but that is the hold EG we're happy to have.
And the big problem there for EHOME is they've got the Aegis on a hero who also has the BKB, so Viper is going to be ignored regardless because of the BKB, and they got no value out of the Aegis there. It was a completely ignored Viper. They went from the squishy supports first, Witch Doctor dies at the start, then they went on to the Chen, then it was the Drow and the Bat Rider who didn't have anything to really protect them at the same time. So it's really hard for EHOME to position these fights because they haven't got the right items to avoid getting jumped on. You've got Night Stalker who's got the Ag's vision, you've got Morphling who waves in forward, so very difficult fight to take for EHOME, but I'm not sure who the ideal Aegis carrier is. Maybe it's the Bat or the Drow Ranger.
Oh, I feel like the Viper could have been fine. Oh, well, hold on here. A Yule's set up here for Old 11. They got the Laguna again, and they're going to get another kill.
He's been so good at finding these picks early on in fights.
And now a team of EHOME that is going to be a bit on the short side as far as staff goes for this fight. They've already lost 2. Now they get the follow-up, going for Old Chicken. Forced to pop the BKB to shrug off the Magnetize here, and he's on full retreat mode. CTY eats up the urn, sidesteps Arteezy though, not looking to let him go, and nice little FIFA kick comes out from Mr. Fear to be able to set up with the Boulder Smash, and now they look for CTY. The LSA will be there, and oh my god, a hell of a swing going the way for EG. You're talking 2 big fights, potentially 2 5-man wipes as they're hustling for Lanham. My god, I'm going to be scared to look at the net worth after this takedown right now. Chen is going to be dropped, and this is going to be a Huge swing now for EG.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
This game just turned completely on its head. They're getting towers as well on the EG side. And this is all they needed was a bit of time and space to get items up. Like, they couldn't quite defend that top melee racks when they lost it because they didn't have, like, the Aether Lens on Lina makes a big difference in being able to burst down someone like the Drow Ranger. Now they've got Morphling, who's getting ridiculously farmed. He's got Lincolns and 3k gold. Earth Spirit, 2k gold. That Veil has turned out to be a very important item for EG to take these fights. Like, if CM goes unignored, you get the Freezing Field off with a Veil. Massive magic nuke damage. Same for the Lina nukes. Like, even just spells like the Night Stalker Void, the Morphling Waveform. It's all magic damage for EG, and they're looking to be in much better shape now. Despite being down to racks, they've kind of holding on during the second Aegis push, buys them a ton of time, and now it just comes down to, can they hold the third Aegis push? And can they even contest the third Aegis? That's maybe a more relevant question with how well EG is suddenly doing.
I want to take it back a couple of minutes to when EHOME were threatening that bottom lane with their push. And they did have Viper, and the Dragon kind of doing their siege work onto the tier 3. And then 11, made the committed jump and grabbed Sumail and pulled him out. Was that a bit of jumping the gun, or was it a necessity to be able to grab Sumail when you have the opportunity? Because I felt like they could have slow played that a bit more. Or do you maybe they saw like the window that if they could get this kill quick and take her out, they could potentially just take the game.
I like the idea of EHOME jumping as early as possible, because if not, EG will always take an advantageous fight because they've got much better catch and insane burst damage with Lina, Morphling, and they've got just all these crazy nukes flying around. So I think EHOME want to be able to jump as early as possible, because otherwise they risk a hero like Bat or Witch Doctor getting jumped on and not getting off any spells because they just instantly get taken out of the fight. Same for the Drow Ranger. We've seen a few fights where Drow will just get Lagooned and deleted right away. So if EHOME can initiate themselves, I think they'll, with Bat, just take any opportunity they get, just because otherwise they don't know if they'll ever get to use the lasso or get to use some of the other big spells they've got. They really need to try and probably find like a BKB on the Drow Ranger as well. The Witch Doctor is building an Ag Scepter, which is a great upgrade to his ultimate, but also just makes him tankier and harder to kill.
Yeah, this Drow is very, very frail. I just noticed like about 1k life, and without a BKB, if this Earth Spirit catches her, let's say, like, she's not going to have much to do about it.
Tried to get the Shadowblade pickup, and that's one of those items which could just like win you one fight, and that can just like be what it could have got them a second lane of racks. But right now, like, you're looking at the Shadowblade and be like, it wasn't the item, and it definitely, like, based on how this game has panned out, was not the item of choice. But at the time he bought it, it could have been a game winner. Like, it saves you in one fight. You get in a position where you can kill off someone like Lina, or kill Morphling with a Shadowblade into silence. Like, that's the thing with Morphling.
He's thinking about it here. Batrider's en route. He's going to need the +1. They get the silence. Will 11 make it a time with the lasso? He's hustling for it here, but no.
And that's the kind of situation where you buy the Shadowblade for, because if you can insta-silence Morphling before he starts, that's the one way they can prevent him morphing to strength. So it's a situationally amazing item if you can execute right with it, which unfortunately for EHOME, it's been EG getting the jump, and the Night Stalker has been the key hero for them. It's provided them all the vision to see everything coming their way, and that's just been so important for them. Now Chen has a Granite Golem. That's something he would have, his first, that's the other big problem for them. When they got Roshan and went for the push, they had the Black Dragon, which is nowhere near as good as having the Granite Golem.
Especially going against Lina with Laguna like that, and you want that extra meat on your bones.
They don't care about armor. It's all nuke damage, all magic damage, as said earlier, and
life points.
They need life points. They're all kind of getting there bit by bit now, but question is if it's too late with how far Morphling is getting.
So, third Aegis go. Let's say EHOME are able to grab this Aegis and go. If it doesn't work that time, is it almost at the point of no return for EHOME?
I feel like it might be. It very close, at least. If they don't get, like, let's say they get just a tier 3 tower, and perhaps get, like, lose a team fight, get wiped or whatever, lose Aegis, and game settles back to, like, this state what we're seeing now, then I think EG are very much in a very, very big lead.
So we know what's at stake, and we know the timing window that EHOME have to work with, or what's left of that window, for them to get the most out of this game. Early pop, and with the force, blink in, nice sidestep from Arteezy. The flame break will bounce it back, still not going to be close enough. Oh, it will be. But is it? It's so far away. He gets him up to the high ground, into the drow, but he goes for the TP, and he says, I'm out of here. Good heads-up play from Arteezy, recognizing the flame break was out, recognizing there was no extra stun, and he escapes trouble. Lasso down.
Playing with fire there a bit, but yeah, gets away. And EHOME are just gonna they're gonna look. I think that's the one thing where they can change up their playstyle to maybe get them a get them a Rax or win them this game is going to be going slightly less 5-man and try and find pickoffs. That's what they're doing there, is spending some time trying to get a pickoff, using use the Shadow Blade and use the Bat Rider for like what they're kind of meant to do, which is 5 pickoffs.
Uh-oh, a pickoff here potentially for EG as they make their go for Old Chicken, then split up as they get the catch onto LAN with the help of the Magnetize, and even Universe getting involved right now, steps in with the Void, but on the back lines, Fear gonna get caught out from Old Chicken, but now they make their move for Old Chicken. 1 by 1 they go, and 2 go down from EHOME already. PPD from the high ground trying to get off the big freezing field. He is gonna get canceled up from Kaka, and he is soon to fall. But now CTY plants himself on the high ground, gets some good pot shots on the low ground for Fear. Fear barely alive. This Granite Golem wants to punch him down. Boom! Gets him down. Lanham, good grab for him, and turns it too quickly. A 2-for-2 EHOME. Scattering back to the base to make it into the safety zone here. Looks like they'll be able to make it away from any extra trouble. Whoa. And or not. Lasso is back. 11 makes his move. And Sumail goes right for the Yules here. And will get dropped. 75 seconds. Does have buyback.
It's a long respawn time.
Roche maybe up soon, or if not already up, could be the target for EHOME here. They see potential to maybe make a go onto Universe. They got 3 stacks, potentially 4. He's got to go for the TP after Flame Break was used.
Oh,
and he goes down. That's a gem on the deck. And now into the pocket of EHOME. Roche likely to come.
And that makes your Drow Ranger that much more potent in these upcoming fights. When there's no gem on the Night Stalker against the Shadow Blade, it gets a lot harder for EG to play. And talked about how EHOME can switch it up and go for pickoffs now without having map vision, because this gem can just be used to deward the map. EHOME suddenly find themselves kind of back in the driver's seat to some extent. I don't want to say they're kind of ahead. I mean, they're ahead of Rax, but it's EG who have held on time and time again. But they're the ones who will dictate play as long as they have Aegis and Cheese. The other big thing that exists now for them.
Yeah, it feels like, given the circumstance of where they were, this is the best possible setup they could ask for to give this third try.
I mean, like ignoring the fact that last push with Aegis was such a disaster, if you look at, like, from a completely, like, objective point of view, they're upper lane of Rax, they have Aegis Cheese, they've got BKBs on their carries. If they were told 30 minutes in they'd be in this position, that'd be like, sweet, that's like the position where we're winning the game. It's just that one last push that's going to be like on your mind where it looks like everything is in a bad position.
Nice force onto Old Chicken, does put him in a bit of an uncomfortable spot. And he is dead. Okay,
that's the Ag Scepter.
1 down, and they're looking for more here. Make their jump for CTY, but he's got that BKB now. And oh man, just 4 shots is going to take out PPD. Now you are Fear rather committing on in. Rolling Boulder, Magnetize going to be dropped. Pops his Blade Mail, but not going to be able to reflect a lot of extra damage. The fight already split 2 for 2. CTY makes it back and away here, pushes him back with the silence, but doesn't have enough life, knows that he has to stand in plan, and will have to commit what looks like his first slice of the Aegis. But look at Kaka go to work. Quickly Arteezy jumps onto the Witch Doctor, finishes off the Death Ward, and now goes back for work for CTY. Lanham still by his side, trying to assist, but Universe is here, and Sumail to assist Arteezy. They're going to quickly take out Lanham, and they're going to take down CTY. This EHOME push has quickly turned to a 5-man wipe, which has all started with a quick takedown of the Viper, and it will finish with the Golem.
EG have just been team fighting incredibly well. Like every team fight, Witch Doctor's Death Ward is getting cancelled like almost immediately. That one there just could have been a disaster for EG if they don't cancel. The previous one around the secret shop, he was on like the high ground using the Death Ward to the low ground, but PPD finds him with a Frostbite. We haven't seen a big Death Ward in a single team fight, and that's like a big just fight-changing spell that is, I feel like at this stage of the game, EHOME is somewhat relying on, but they aren't able to get it off. And the other big thing is like they had this timing where they've got 3 BKBs, Aegis and Cheese, but EG able to get that quick jump, Laguna blow up the Viper before he, basically negate the fact he has a BKB, and EHOME just kind of getting caught by surprise by how much confidence EG are playing with. Like they're willing to make that jump, go for the risky play, which has that high reward, which basically saves their racks if they're successful. If they're unsuccessful, if they mess it up, they lose the game off of it. But EG just playing incredibly well right now.
And what may be the third strike and you're out here for EHOME. Look at this, top 2 net worth now on the side of EG. Yeah. We saw Arteezy with over 4K gold saved up. Looks like he invested that 4K towards a Manta, which is now complete. So 3 big items now for this Morphling, a hero who typically just has such a long build-up. And EHOME seemed to have the number against the Morphling, not letting him build up anything at all, but now this Morphling is going to be a problem. EHOME are, I don't want to say quick to be desperation mode, but with the smoke now, they are just going to have to give it another college try to try to get back in that base and get the job done. Otherwise, it could be quick to game 3.
What can they find? And they still have the cheese on Viper. Didn't get a chance to use it that last fight with how fast he died. And they're trying to get that pick off here in the mid lane.
Well, 11 be quick on the trigger here.
That replicate. Oh,
looks like he got a hold of the replicate.
This fight could go awful.
No. That means they're going to get the follow-up here. 11 going to be eating, oh my god, so much damage to E-Blade. The Laguna goes through. Arteezy now godlike. Old Chicken next to fall here. He is just hustling away. Arteezy on the chase. Nice catch with the Boulder Snatch from Fear. Will stop him in his tracks, and they will be able to take down the Viper. 3 already down from EHOME. This is going to be like what feels like the 4th straight 5-man wipe for EG.
Well, there was a time limit you mentioned, 35 minutes, and we're just about hitting that point, Dakota.
Yep.
And yeah, 4,000 gold swing. That we are just about at the point of no return for EHOME. And it's kind of not every day you say that about a team that's up a full lane of racks, but
Before 15 minutes, too.
Yeah.
13-minute racks.
They GG out. This is going to be like the first GGs in the history of Dota when you're up a racks and you GG out. Like, that's the crazy thing here.
That's, you know what, and you can't really fault him for it. It's just like EG in the last game, it's like there really are just no more outs. The percentage for win has went from what felt like 99 to 50 to 30 to 1, and then it was just done.
That really says something about this EG team, that losing a Rex at 12, 13 minutes in the game and holding on, defending time and time again against the Aegis push. And for EHOME, they have a lot, like, probably, I mean, probably, you don't want to talk about that game now, but like after this tournament, that's one of those games where there's so much, like, just discuss, like, what went wrong in terms of execution, item decisions, just how you played it. But right now they've got to focus on game 3. I don't think they want to kind of stew on this game 2 for long, even though there's so much to learn from this one as a team.
Just showing they have a very aggressive and different stature and how they like to have high ground defense, and it worked out to their benefit on this one. And now we get to go already into playoff rounds. No more of those pesky little 2-game series. We're going to get our first 3-game stretch and our first best of 3 of the playoffs right now as EG and EHOME continue to go toe-to-toe. We'll go ahead and cut to a break. I know you just got to us. Hi, how's it going? But we're going to go ahead and send you right back out so you can get hyped up and ready for game number 3 of EG going against EHOME here at the MDL Mars TV Winter Dota League.